Hi there. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the different question types we can have in the submission form. So I'm going to navigate to the submission form here. And so here we can see our existing submission form questions. And then I'm going to go to Add Question. So here we can see all of the potential questions that we can add. And then we can see a preview of the question when we click on it. So these are split up into different groups. So we have standard questions. So these are questions that you would typically find in a submission form. Then we've got read-only questions, text questions, checkbox questions, drop-down questions, multimedia questions, and then other questions. So we'll go through each one by one and take a look at the different question types we have. So for the standard questions, again, these are typical questions that you might find in a submission form. With any of these as well, we can preview the question, but of course we can, when we go to create the question, we can change any of the text related to the question. So if I click in, I can edit what this says. So it's important to know as well that some of these questions are special questions. So poster upload, for example, because I've chosen the poster upload question, this comes pre-checked. So it means that this is the poster gallery upload question. So this means that files that are uploaded as a response to this question can potentially be shown in the poster gallery. So some of the other questions we've got, so we've got abstract, author approval, so this is just a standard checkbox, author will attend, permission to publish, poster upload that we've seen, presentation, so this would be your preferred presentation type, and then program permission. So these are all the standard questions you might find in a submission form. Moving down, we've got text break, page break. So all this does is just adds a break into the form. So if I go to add this as a question, I can then move the page break halfway up the form so that when I preview it, we can see that the submitter will have to go from one page to the next. So it's just useful for breaking up forms which may be too long to have on one page. The next read-only question is a text block. So this is great for just adding in information for the submitter partway through the form. Next, we have text questions. So we can have simple text. So this would just be one line text. Next, we have formatted text. And with any of these text editor questions, what we can do is actually we can choose which of these features or inputs are allowed within the question. So if I click into this one to create it, we can see that if I preview the question, you can see up here that this is the most basic form of the text editor. If I want to give people more options, I can choose a different text editor type, and now there are more options for things that people can add into the text editor. And then we have a single column list. So with this one, you can choose how many rows are available for the submitter to answer, but it's great for things like keywords. So say you have a maximum of 4 that you want to allow, this makes it easier for the submitter to respond to that sort of question. Moving on, we've got checkbox questions, pretty straightforward. And we've got multiple checkbox and radio button questions. So they're pretty standard questions that you might see online. Then we've got drop-down questions. So these are typical drop-down questions you might see. and then you have drop down with subcategory. So with this, you can have someone select the parent option and then the child option. So the second drop down changes depending on what they choose on the first drop down. Next up, we've got drop down with multiple responses. So this allows people to select more than one option at a time. Then we move on to the multimedia questions, such as file upload. So this is useful for things like when you're asking submitters to upload a full paper. And again, you can restrict the file size and the types of files that people can upload here. The next option is for uploading images. So this one comes with the restriction of only being able to add images. Next, we have a submitter link. So typically this is used for submitters to share links to videos that they have online. So it may be a YouTube link. The great thing here is that the submitter can just add the link to the submission form, and then that link or the video that relates to that link can then be shown within our program without the submitter ever having to upload the video themselves. And then moving on, we've got the other questions. So we've got an email link question. So this is just for adding an email address, but the validation will make sure that it has the real type of an email. So you'll check for the @ and the domain and things like this. And then last off, we've got a date picker. So just the standard way of people being able to input dates into a form. Okay, so this summarizes our different question types that we have available on the submission form. Thank you for watching.